Hello, this is Learn With Me Pickleball, and this is my first drilling session video. This is me in Mexico with a buddy of mine named Edson. This is kind of just two buddies hitting around. It wasn't super structured, but I'm going to have labels throughout the video for what we're doing, and we're still working on getting better. We both love pickleball, and we're challenging each other, but it's pretty casual. But definitely there's stuff in here that you can learn from, and yeah, I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. Throughout this video, I'm going to include what I'm focusing on in each of the drills. For me personally, in my warm-ups, after I do some straight-ahead dinking, I like to back up to the transition zone. I find that this helps me to get a good feel for the ball to work on my attacks and resets from the transition zone. Here, Edson and I start to drill one up, one back, and he starts back first. He does a combination of working on his drops and his drives. When I'm at the net in a drill like this, I'm working on taking as many balls out of the air as I can and trying to keep each of my balls pretty spinny with topspin to work on adding pressure and not making too many errors when I'm up at the kitchen and they're back. I'm also prioritizing giving them like a steady ball that they can drill with because I find that when you're in one up, one back, the person that's back is a little bit more important, but it's still important to be working on your skills when you're up at the net and your partner is back at the baseline. One interesting thing that I can note here is that I'm working on keeping my paddle position pretty similar on my drops and my drives to kind of disguise that. I don't want to do a super big windup when I'm driving and a super like compact swing when I'm dropping because then it's going to be pretty obvious which one I'm doing. So that's something that I'm working on. But again, hitting a mix of drops and drives to drill one up, one back. Here I move to the left side to work on a cross court. I tend to hit more of my drops cross court or to the middle in my matches, and so I like to drill this a lot with me back at the baseline and my partner up at the net. Here, while Edson and I are drilling our left side dinks, I'm working on taking balls out of the air because he has really good aggressive dinks. And if I take too many of these off the bounce, I'm going to be really far out of position. So I'm really trying to be cognizant of which balls I'm taking out of the air and which ones I'm letting bounce. I noted here that I'm practicing my two-handed backhand. I find that I can get a lot more topspin with this two-hand backhand dink, and I'm working on getting it more consistent so I can add it into my matches. When dinking straight ahead, this is kind of the best time to practice your speed ups, counters, and resets because you don't really want to attack too much when you're cross court. And so Edson and I, for a while in this video, are straight ahead hitting a combination of these shots. One more thing that I can add here is that we're doing a decent amount of experimentation on which balls we want to speed up and which ones we don't, and if that works. I leave here to go wipe off my face because I was getting pretty sweaty. But here you can see Edson practicing with the wall. This is always a great option when you do not have a drilling partner, and there's a good variety of drills that you can do when hitting with a wall. You can kind of see that we've transitioned into hitting some resets from the transition zone, and we're working on being aggressive at each other. When I'm back at in the transition zone, I'm really trying to work on keeping my paddle still to kind of absorb the pace and not have my swing be too big so I can be ready for the next shot. Something that I can point out here while I'm working on my transition up to the kitchen, I hit almost all resets in the transition zone or dinks. And when I'm back at the baseline, I'll mix in some drives. But in the transition zone, because my drilling partner here kind of has the high ground, I do not want to be attacking balls from the transition zone. So I'm working on dropping those. Volley to volley practice has become one of my favorite drills. I like this because it helps me to train faster hands, but also helps me to learn pattern recognition for if I hit a ball to this spot, where's his shot going to go? Adding score to your drills can be a really good way to increase intensity and to notice kind of where your inconsistencies are. When there's points involved, I don't want to be missing as many dinks, and I'm going to be probably having better shot selection for which balls I'm choosing to attack. As we move into dinking cross court with score, something that I can point out is that the rallies are going to be a little bit longer because we're not attacking as much when we're cross court from one another because it's a longer distance. The main thing that I focus on when I'm on the right side is getting as much topspin as I can on my dinks. I find it's way easier to get topspin with my forehand, and so it helps me to be aggressive out wide, but it also helps me to have more attacks up the middle because I've gotten my paddle head down and I'm working on being more aggressive. If you notice here that we're hitting some shots behind us, we play that the whole square, the whole court is in behind us because you're kind of responsible for covering your cross court. And so we mix in some speed ups that you have to test your drilling partner if they're covering the middle well. Towards the end of the video here, him and I are getting a little bit more competitive, and we start to have some really good points because we're almost done with the drilling session, and we both want to win this last game.